What's up, everybody?
What's going on, everyone?
Hey, what's going on? Welcome to the show. As you guys can see, I am not Tina,
No,
but
this
I'm
is our
filling in
special.
for Tina B tonight. So, hopefully, I do a good job. It is
Yes, you
me
will.
and Taison starting this thing off. So, first,
Mm-hmm.
Taison, how are you?
Doing good, doing good. Saw my Eagles win today. You know. Um.
I saw that. I saw that. I'm not into foosball, so I don't know anything about that. But
Oh no,
all through my timelines, I saw Eagles up and down the timeline. So I'm guessing the Eagles won.
a comeback
Okay.
win for the Eagles. Fly, fly, Eagles, fly. Let's keep it a buck. I love my Philadelphia sports teams. Um. Great team win today. I'm in a great mood.
Okay. Well, that's always
I'm in a
that's
great
always a good
mood.
thing.
Yeah,
I didn't do
definitely a great mood.
much today actually. I went to brunch with my peoples. So that was
Mm-hmm.
fun.
Mm-hmm.
Let's welcome some people in the building. Hello, Blast Music. What's good? What's
Oh, what's
good?
going on, Blast Music?
Sam Kelly. Sam
Oh
Kelly.
man,
Good
Sam,
evening. We
man,
are doing good today.
doing good, doing
Shout out
good.
to Sam
Can't wait to hear
Kelly.
your
Let me
words
tell
of
you something.
wisdom.
On Wednesday,
Yes. Mm.
I know, right? We need to at some point, if you are willing, ready, willing,
Available.
and able, Sam,
Mm-hmm.
we got to get you on the show because your thought process was
Speaking the truth.
amazing on that last show.
Yeah.
Yeah, speaking of real truth, I was like, when you try to find some words to say and you're just like, I don't know how to put this, and this here comes Sam with the perfect comment.
Yo,
Like,
she
that's
come.
what I was
Yo,
thinking.
yo. I mean, a lot of people been hitting me up about that show. A lot of people been hitting me up about her words. I'm like, yo. She look, Sam. Look,
Right,
if
right.
you're eligible, if you're available to come on the show, please. You would look. Be great to talk with you. Your words speaks volumes. You know,
For real,
speaks
let us
volumes.
know. You can hit up any one
Yeah.
of us, particularly either Sean or Heist or Stacks.
Yeah.
I'm about to say
Yeah.
Heisen because that's his real name, my cousin. And let us know if you want to jump on one of these shows. We'd be happy to have you.
Oh yeah, no
Happy
doubt,
to have
no
you.
doubt, no doubt.
Yeah,
Can't wait, can't wait.
right. We appreciate that. So
Mm-hmm.
let's get this going. We will not keep you guys long, camera shy. Let me get drunk one night and I might. Well,
All right.
I mean, if you need a little sippy sip, that's okay. We don't mind that. if
No,
if
no
you
mind
need
that at all.
liquid courage, we don't mind that at all. You're more than
Yeah,
welcome. We will
we
not shame you. They be up here drinking
at
too. You
all.
see them, especially Merv be
Mm-hmm.
sipping all of them. So
Yes, he do.
so tonight's topic, let's get straight into it, is going to be misinformation of dating.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Of dating. Now, this particular topic is I would say over talked on social media because a lot of people give so much information about what they think they should or should not do in dating. The do's and don'ts
Mm-hmm.
of dating. What type of person you should date. What type of person who should not date. If you're in this type of situation in your
Mm-hmm.
life, you don't date nobody. If you got this,
Mm-hmm.
then date this type of person. Date somebody on your level. Single women are like, I don't need no man.
Yeah.
Men are like, well, fuck you bitches. We don't need y'all neither.
Yeah. You right.
So
Hold
what
up.
do
You
you
right.
think?
You right. You right. You right. Mm-hmm.
What do you think are the general? We'll get into some points, but what do you think the general misunderstanding is about dating?
I have a little note about this, and I think like the general for me, I think is expectations.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's a big general thing you can talk about in terms of when you go into dating is your expectations, the dating pool or just dating period. In terms of like, what do you expect out of dating? Do you expect just to be, all right, I'm gonna be dating just to fool around for a couple, fool around, like let me see, who's
Mm-hmm.
my type, who I can, bang with, or you're just like, you know what, I'm gonna be dating for like the rest of my life, and just, you know, because you got some people
Well,
that hold it, but you got some people
do
that
you think people even want to date? Go ahead. I'm sorry.
it's not like how we grew up. I don't think the dating thing is not how it was when I grew up. I think the dating thing is like it's something like taboo a little bit because I don't see people. You don't hear people say, "Oh, I'm going on a date." You don't even hear that term around. You're like, "Oh, I'm just going out." Not the date thing. Not no. I'm going out to like on this date with this this guy or girl saying I'm going out to date with the guy. You're not hearing that term anymore. So I'm just going out. Like
Right.
dating is just like is this an old term? Like a completely old term to this younger generation now. And it's wild because it's like you go out, you want to go sit there and know a person. You're like, no, I'm just gonna go somewhere. It's not considered dating anymore, and that's wild if you think about it. Like we were so used to like we're supposed to be like, well, I'm going on a date with like me person. I'm going out a date with this girl. I want to see how she is, whatever. Vice versa. With women, I'm like, I'm going on a date with this guy. I want to see how whatever. Now it's just like you're not even really going out. It's like sometimes it's like you dating with like one of my boys, he talking about he thought he was going to date with this one girl. She ended up bringing like three or four of her girlfriends to you know to whatever. And I think we got Becca lost Becca right here real quick, but
You
um
still there?
so it's still here now. It just froze a little bit. Just froze a little bit.
Okay.
Um,
Technology.
just yeah, but this is different. I think this is a
Well,
different
I've
era right
heard.
now.
I've I do believe that dating now is very different than our parents. It's actually for the younger generation. I think dating right now is very different than even for us. It was,
Mhm.
and then for
Mhm.
us, it was very different than our parents were because our
Oh, I
parents
agree.
definitely had different mindsets when they were dating. They were dating
Mhm.
with the intent to stay with that person for a long time. I
Mhm.
think our generation is the first generation that was kind of like, I don't really need to be dating for marriage. I don't really need to be dating to stay with
Mhm.
anybody for a long time.
Mhm.
I'm dating, but it's not that serious to me. Like if I don't like him, if I don't like her, I'll move on.
Mhm.
I think the generation below us, they just don't want to date at all. They just like, I don't need you. Like
Mhm.
I'll
Mhm.
hit you up for some sex. I'll hit you up for some sex, and after that, that's it.
So
I
that's
don't
what it
need
is.
you
It's
after
like the
that.
evolution of dating. It's like the evolution. Just like you said, like the thing is like no, it's like no dating is just like whatever.
Right.
It is
So
weird.
let's start with what you mentioned. What are the expectations when it comes to dating? What do you think when you're dating someone, regardless of
Hmm.
the reason, right? Do you think that what do you think the expectations of dating should be or what they are?
See, I think the expectations. See, it goes like if it's my generation, right? If it's my generation, I think it's we're getting to know one another. We're getting to see where this goes, but also it's like all right, you're in a filling out process here a little bit. You're like all right,
Mm-hmm.
if this date doesn't work, I got something else here on the side. Let me go see how everything goes here. You're not just like you said, like our parents are like, if I'm dating this one person, like that's the only person I'm dating. Like legit, that's the only person I'm looking at. Our generation was like, all right, I'm dating, all right, I'm going on a date with this person, I'm going on a date with that person. I want to see like my options a little bit. And you have to expect I don't want like you hear like certain I hear some guys maybe get upset because like a girl is dating someone else. It's like shouldn't you be doing that too as well just to see how it goes a little bit? Um, that's
Yeah.
my brother right there.
What's up, twin?
And that's my twin, that's right. 4 minutes older. Um, I think your expectation for me is like, you're in a filling out process. You want to get to know, you know, the person that you're basically you're talking about, especially if you're in the dating phase, you're like, all right, let me see what this person is about. Because you can talk on the phone, whatever, but seeing this person, interacting with this person, it's a little bit different. Situation
Ha,
can glare around if you don't want.
this situations
Ooh,
people don't want to put the same time in as the right person. Okay, that that
all right,
that
I can see
definitely
that.
is true. As far as expectations when it comes to dating, I feel that people have high expectations when it comes to dating. And
Mhm,
I think the reason why dating is so frustrating to a lot of people is because they have such high expectations that are not only super high,
mhm,
unreasonable, and also that
mhm.
they don't meet themselves,
Yep,
right?
I agree.
You have a woman that may want to date a man with money, but she's broke, right? So then that man may not want to date a broke chick. He may want to date a
Yep.
woman with money as well. But what
Mm-hmm.
she'll do is she'll date that man. That man will not show any further interest in her, and now all of a sudden he ain't shit. You just don't meet his expectation. He's expecting what he's able to provide or he's able to give. Some people really do expect
Mm-hmm.
something out of a relationship that they are not willing to give themselves. And I think that a lot of
Oh, that's
times
good. That's the
that
truth,
makes
though.
dating difficult. When
Mm-hmm.
you go, because dating is supposed to be a time where I feel like when you're dating someone, you're supposed to go with no expectations. This is my thought, with no expectations, and just see what this
Mm-hmm.
person is about. At that point
Mm-hmm.
you can decide whether you want to go on a second date, third date, or if you still like this person. But if you go with
Mm-hmm.
preconceived notions that he better pay for dinner, he better have a nice car, he better be dressed to the nines, he better take
Mm-hmm.
him to the right place, if you go with that expectation and he doesn't meet any one of those, he
Mm-hmm.
fails. All of a sudden now you don't want to date this man because he ain't shit. He ain't nobody. He ain't
Mm-hmm.
nothing. Oh girl, he took me to Red Lobster. Like, okay.
Like, calm down.
Like
Calm down.
you went in there expecting something that you did not get. Now what if that man expected you to come, you know,
Yo.
your natural self, and you
Mm-hmm.
came with the eyelashes that look like wings, you got a whole bunch of hair, you got a whole bunch of makeup, your outfit is too revealing. What if he wanted you to just come? What if he was expecting a not a regular woman, because that even a woman that has over that is still regular, but a
Mm-hmm.
not so done up woman, and here you come and you don't meet his expectations. Is it okay for him to just say peace to you too?
Yeah, because you got people that their feelings will get hurt. It's like, all right, you're expecting. It's like piggyback from what you said. You're expecting him to be one way, and all of a sudden, imagine if he is that way, and all of a sudden, what his just like you said, what his expectations are, but like, no, I'm out. Like, and also, you know,
Right,
what's really big in terms of expectations, the catfishing. Catfishing has become like, especially this generation, has become real big,
right.
like men and women. And
Well,
but
the
I
funny thing
wholeheartedly
is,
agree.
on me and my husband's first date, one of the first things he mentioned, he was like, "Oh wow, you look just like your pictures," and I was like,
Mm-hmm.
"Is that a compliment or
It's a
is that a
compliment.
dig?" And then I asked him, I said, "What you mean?" Because Tyson, you know my personality. I'm just like
Mm-hmm.
whatever. I'm like, "What you mean? What you? Oh, yeah, I don't like my
Mm-hmm.
pictures." He was like,
Mm-hmm.
"No, you don't understand. I've been on dates and women, or even women that I know in real life, like they don't look the same when I see them in person, and it's just like."
Hold up.
When I met you and you looked just like your
Mm-hmm.
pictures, it was like a breath of fresh
Mm-hmm.
air. Like, okay,
Mm-hmm.
all right. She showed up with her oily skin and just some lip
Mm-hmm.
gloss on. Cool.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Because if I tried to do the
Mm-hmm.
whole makeup thing, it wouldn't work. I would have looked foolish.
Mm-mm.
And then he
Cause
would
you
have
gotta
been
be
like, well,
you.
who's the person? Because we met online. If anybody doesn't know, me and my husband did meet online. That's a whole
Mm-hmm.
story. Because yeah, that's a whole story. But anyway, so when you're doing that,
Mm-hmm.
you kind of really are only meeting pictures
Mm-hmm.
and comments, right? You don't really know unless you
Mm-hmm.
guys exchange phone numbers or go out on a date what this person
Exactly.
really is in real life.
Mm-hmm.
And that was the
Mm-hmm.
first thing that he mentioned to me, like that I looked just like my pictures, and I was shocked. And after I spoke to a few dudes, they was like, "No, Beck, you don't understand. Like women really do be looking really different in person, and that is an extreme turnoff, ladies. That is an
Hold up.
extreme. I'm gonna tell you, like I'm a man. I'm gonna let Taison finish it. Ladies, please look the same on your pictures and in person. Men actually find that to be uh,
Hold
not
up.
attractive at all.
I'm gonna give
I'll
you.
let you continue
Sorry
that.
about that. No. You no agree because I'm actually gonna give you an example, right? Now, usually like I said, my brother, he just let me see. Some people think they actually don't like that. They don't. People to say
They
what they
allow
want,
people
and
too afraid to say what they want, and
whew,
end up dating, put off as a whole. Yeah, that's
that's
true.
true. I'm gonna
Very
give you a
true.
perfect example. That's true. I'm gonna give you a perfect example. I'll piggyback off of what you said, right? Now, my brother, he the one that got me doing the like after I got my I got my divorce. I was up there just like trying these little dating apps, right? And I'm
Hmm.
usually a tech savvy dude, but I'm sort of like an old school type person. So I was like, all right, let me go to these little these like the Tinder and all that, whatever. So one time I'm talking with this lady, this lady, and kind of was sitting and looking at her pictures. I'm like, oh, she look all right, she look nice. I'm like, all
Uh
right.
huh. Hmm.
So I said, all right, we're gonna meet at this nice little dinner spot downtown here in Houston, and All right, you know what? I
She not watching Taison. You can keep it real.
no, I'm gonna keep it real because I'm about to be real ignorant. Like
Just say how you
you
feel.
can't say
We
if
don't
you
have a
look one
filter
way
here at the
and you look
guys.
no filter. No, you can't say you look like one thing. You look like Grimace.
Listen, he said, you said you look like Janet Jackson. Came out the car looking like Freddie Jackson.
Yeah, that's the first thing that came to my brain was that exact thing. So I'm sitting there and I'm looking like she sat down because I basically got this the table. I was able to get the table, because I always like to, do stuff like that. Got the table, whatever. And she sat down. I'm looking like, what? She's like, yeah, I'm sorry. I didn't want to, basically, I know I'm sorry. I basically did the pitch, blah, blah, blah. I'm looking like, you just lied to me about your whole everything. Like, you look like rainbow colored hair. Just probably the worst first date I've ever been on, period, point blank. Legit. I'm going to literally admit this, the worst first date I have ever been on. So I was like, she's
So
trying to
what
talk, but
did
I'm,
she say? Did she apologize for the way she
no,
looked
she
or
did. She said, no, she was like, I know I basically, what's the word here? I'll
filter?
not filter. What she said, I fuzzed the truth a little bit, and I was like, that's not a little bit what you just did in my brain, right? So I'm here letting her talk, letting her talk. So I was like, all right. I said, look, I gotta use the bathroom. I'll be right back. Right?
Did you leave her
Yes, I
there?
did, Becky. Yes, I did. Yes, I did, Becky. Yes, I did. Yes, I did. Sure did. Sure enough,
Yo,
did.
my
Sure enough,
husband
did.
said he did the same thing.
Mhm.
He did the same thing. There was a girl that he was
Mhm.
dating. He thought it was her, like he saw her, and he walked in. He looked, and he was like, she was like, "Yeah, I'm at the bar." And he looked. He was like, "There was no chick at the bar that I was intending to meet." He said he walked out and left her there. I was like,
Mhm.
"Sir, what if that was
Mhm.
me?" He was like, "No, it wasn't you." But
Mhm.
yo, he dead ass did
Mhm.
that. He dead ass walked in, saw her, and was like, "Hail to the no, what's up, Stacks, cuzzo,"
Yeah, what's up, Stacks? And I hold it.
and
And I
walked right
did that.
out.
Yeah, I was like, deuces, I'm out. Because it was like you been. And the thing is,
Yo,
when she said I fussed the truth a little bit, but she just kept talking. I mean, hold up. She didn't hold up. How she started the conversation, like, hey, hi, nice to meet you, what have you. She's telling me all about herself. I was like, in complete stun. Yeah, hold up, I am. I ain't gonna hold you.
well, you a
And I was
wild
like,
boy.
boy,
You a wild
and I was
boy,
like,
Jason.
and I was, yo, but I was like, yo, like, in complete stun. I'm like, all right, you know what? I said, you know what? Like, I know how to end this situation. I said, all right, I'll be right back going to the bathroom. And the bathroom was like all the way on the other end of the restaurant, but that was my exit route because it was a door right near the bathroom. Went out the door. Yep. Yep. Sure did that.
Did you
Yep.
guys
I have no
communicate after
regrets.
that?
No. What?
She didn't
I
say
deleted
you
her.
ain't. Why you leave me? Da, 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 nothing.
No, I deleted her as soon as I basically was walking up from the chair to the restroom. I was like, I'm deleting her completely off. Yep. Pretty much did that. Blocked her everything. Yep. Yep. That's what I did. Yep. Pretty
Jason,
much.
I know
Yep.
you was
I have
raised
no.
better than that.
No, Mama didn't raise no fool. Mama didn't raise no fool.
Oh my gosh.
Mom did not raise not a fool. No, you can't hold it.
But
You gonna have somebody come up to me looking like Grimace with rainbow color hair, and I'm like, yo, I'm like, and then not even hold up, then not even apologize. Like, nothing. She just like, oh, I fuzzed the truth, and just kept talking like
so
about
what
her. I
did
was
she
like,
look like in her pictures though? What was the difference? She didn't have that color hair. She what was the difference?
250 pounds.
Yo, I am shocked. So in her picture, she was a smaller, regular looking
Mm-hmm,
woman.
mm-hmm,
But when
mm-hmm,
she showed up, she was an extra 250 pounds with green hair.
mm-hmm, mm-hmm,
Grimace.
mm-hmm. Yep, yep, pretty
Grimace.
much, Grimace. And I thought
Yo,
about that
you got
Friday.
to be kidding me.
I'm not
That's
joking.
some.
Friday, I automatically thought about that Friday thing because I wanted to laugh so hard in her face. And I was like, Ty, don't do this.
Please don't do that. Well, if she
So I
happens to
madly
stumble
thought,
upon
like,
this video,
I don't care.
you know why you
Do
was
not
left.
care. And I was like, all right, I'm out. So I said, hold up. I said, you know what? I'm going to do this the respectful way that only I can do. Went to the bathroom. I said, excuse me, I'm going to the bathroom real quick. I'll be right back. Never came back. Nope.
Damn. I would love to know what her thought process and what she did after you just that's not even a ghost. Like that's not even a ghosting, Taison. That's like a straight like David
Mm-hmm.
Copperfield disappearing act.
Mm-hmm.
You left her
Mm-hmm.
right there and just walked away.
Yeah, I did.
Damn, son.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
R.I.P.
Yeah.
R.I.P.
Yeah. Yeah. Like,
That's you definitely wild for that.
yeah. I mean,
Okay, so
well, I said, well, hold on. I'm supposed to stay for that? Mm-mm.
you wasn't supposed to stay. I had a I
Hold
I
on.
I can
I was gonna say
understand.
that. I was gonna say that. So the shoes and the told you, how would you have handled that?
If he was just unattractive in person but attractive
Mm-hmm.
in online.
Mm-hmm.
Well, from what it seems like that you would like she put up a whole picture that wasn't her at all.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Okay, so that's something different. But if I just met him and he happened to look different in person versus than the pictures, I probably would have just stayed for the date and just not went on a second date. And I actually have did that. Before I met my husband, there was just one dude that I went with, and the whole date he talked about how
Mm-hmm.
busy he was and
Mm-hmm.
how he decided to date online because he's just so busy. So online dating was a way for him to still engage with women, but not have to be physically
Mm-hmm.
present all the time because he was always on the road.
Mm-hmm.
So in that conversation, I was like, okay, so then why? What happens if you engage with somebody online that you actually like, but you can't fully engage her because you're too busy? Then you're wasting her time. He was like, no, not really, because I
Mm-hmm.
tell everybody that I'm with when I first meet them that I'm too busy. I said, so then.
Mm-hmm.
I said, so then how the fuck you think you're gonna get a girlfriend being too busy? Like you
Yeah, don't
think?
make
I
sense.
mean, you took time for this date. So if
Yeah.
let's say I liked you and wanted to continue to date you, when would
Mm-hmm.
our next date be? In 6 months? Because you too busy?
Yeah, like, dude, we don't wait around. Like, all right, that don't make any sense, my dude. That I don't. Yeah. Mm-mm.
But I
Mm-mm.
guarantee you, if I was ready to give up some ass, he would have found time. He would
Oh,
have found
easily.
time. He wouldn't
Mm-hmm.
have been that busy. He would have found time for
Mm-hmm.
some ass, but he didn't find
Mm-hmm.
time for nothing else.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, I was
Mm-hmm.
like, listen, I don't have time for that. I've seen that person left at the table. It sucks. Oh,
Oh, I'm sorry, Sam. I'm sorry,
see,
Sam. I'm sorry, Sam.
see. Apologize, Tyson.
I'm
Even though you
sorry. Hold
didn't
up.
do it, just
I'm
say
I
sorry.
know I'm sorry, Sam. Whoever did that to you, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. But this person sat there and basically gave me a whole, like, you know, if this person was, if I like that person, like how I'm like, all right, well, cool. But you gave me a whole another
Whole
person,
different.
period.
That's a straight
And I'm like,
catfish.
look, you're not
That's a
lying.
straight
Like, you
catfish.
lied to me about, like, yeah, you lied to me about, like, extreme catfish. It's like, yo, you lied to me. And I'm like, nah, mm-mm. Like, no, you
Yeah,
can't
that's
lie to me
really.
with that. No.
And I
Mm-mm.
think I think that that is the reason why sometimes expectations, when you go into dating with so many
Mm-hmm.
expectations and you
Mm-hmm.
don't get those met, it could ruin the first date. The first date is always a nervous situation anyway. People are trying to either give their
Mm-hmm.
representative or put their best foot
Mm-hmm.
their best sorry, the scumbag. Or trying to put their best foot forward.
Wow.
They're trying to put their best foot
I'm a
forward. So
good
you
dude.
already
I'm a good dude.
you already nervous and just trying to make
Mm-hmm.
sure that you don't overwhelm the person with
Mm-hmm.
your personality, but you don't also
Mm-hmm.
pull back so much where they think that you're boring. So those
Yeah.
expectations could kind of either be a good thing or a bad thing. It could kind of
Good.
it could kind of ruin the first day because you're just so you're already in your head with so many different things to think about. What if this person is whack? What if they stink? What if they got bad teeth? What if they dress bad? What if
Mm-hmm.
I don't like but what if I don't like their in face personality versus their social media personality? Because that's a real thing. People are very different on
Yep.
social media than they are in real life. Like I know people who are real
True.
petty and antagonistic and on social media, but in real life they're not like that at all. And it's just
Mm-hmm.
like,
Yeah.
but on
You be like,
online, you seem like a whole asshole, but you're really like a big ass teddy bear in
mm-hmm.
person. He's like, I'll be playing on social media, and I'm just like, all
Then why
right,
you do one
whatever.
thing and do another? See, you're a
Right,
rapper now. You're a rapper now. You're a rapper
right.
now.
So speaking of first dates, right? Does the
Mm-hmm.
location and the type of date matter when you're dealing in when you're first starting to date people? Do these things really matter? Do people pay attention to these things?
I think it does because I think, like, see, for me, I like to like probably put it like in a um, you can have a dinner date, but it depends on the person because if like you always got to know who you're well, see, I always say you always got to know who you're dealing with. But if it's your first date, you're like, all right, you sort of like getting the feeling out process. You like, well, look, before like y'all go on this date, you're basically putting out there was like, all right, what do you like to do? What do you like to, whatever. So it can be like, all right, let's
Yeah.
go like to a steakhouse, or we can go to like a fun type of thing, or what have you. I guess it depends on the individual. Like to me, I think it depends on the person that you're trying to like court.
Hmm.
The date wise, I think that's what it matters. You
Do you
also could
think
do
the
a date.
first date should be chill mode, like we just chilling, or should it be something exciting and fun,
I
where
think it
it
would
kind
be
of takes all
exciting
those
and fun.
nerves out?
I think exciting and fun because you want to take the nerves out. You want to sit there and be, you know, just take the
Yeah.
little like the thing because you also want to see how that person is when you're having fun because you got some people that's like real like stuck up or nothing. You're like, oh, this person can't have fun, and also yeah, that's there exactly.
You can truly
Hmm.
communicate. Okay.
And I think we
Well,
had that. Yeah. No, go
my
go
me
ahead.
and my
Go ahead, baby.
me and my husband's first date was to the amusement park. We
See.
went
Hmm.
we went to there's a big
Hmm.
state fair in Raleigh, North Carolina every year. And that particular year,
Hmm.
it was
Hmm.
late October. And our first date, we was on roller coasters and Ferris wheels and rides and all of that. That was our first date. So
That's good.
it wasn't a type of place to communicate to be like, so what do you like while we're swinging
No,
in
but
the
if you, oh
air
no, but
upside down.
no, but you know what? I'm saying off the bat. Hold on. Do you remember everything that happened that day? Do you remember all the different stuff you? That's communication.
Remember. And I think, and after that, we well we met earlier that day and we went to IHOP for breakfast. We was like, okay, let's
All
just
right.
start our day with some food in our stomach. And then we drove
Mm-hmm.
to the fair. We did the rides and we had the food at the fair, whatever. We was just chilling. And then after that, we went to go eat again. I'm a eater. I'm a
Mm-hmm.
foodie. I really should be 150,000 pounds because the way I eat, and thank God for my metabolism.
Mm-hmm.
I can still lose a couple pounds, but either way, anyway, that's another podcast. Um,
Mm-hmm.
but yeah, we went to an amusement park on our first date, and it was fun because that's something I like to do. I like rides and all of that stuff,
See, that's what I'm
and
saying.
it was
Mm-hmm.
a way for us to enjoy each other, have fun without the staring in front of each other. So, what's your favorite movie? What's your favorite color? What do you like to do in your spare time?
Yeah.
How are you on the weekends? Where do you work? How much do you make? Do you like it was just way it would be
Yeah. It's
way
so
too
like.
antagonizing.
Yeah.
So we
Mm-hmm.
just went on some roller coasters and had some fun and we just hung
Mm-hmm.
out. And then the
Mm-hmm.
next day I was like, well, what you doing tomorrow? He was like, nothing. I was like, all right, let's go to the movies. So we went to the movies the next day.
See, that's what I'm saying. It's like now y'all have like y'all sort of like y'all comfortable when y'all get like y'all see when you're out there having fun. It's like all right, I can see myself like chilling with this person. It's like all
Hmm.
right, like when I let my guard up, when you're letting your guard down, you're like, oh, all right, I like this. I like this person, and if vice versa, you be like, all right, I see that person. Me and this person vibe over a lot of different things, especially to do like some stuff that y'all both like doing. You're like, all right, okay. And then when I say you went from the amusement park, then all of a sudden you went and got something to eat, then you went to the movies, and it just was like that. Hmm.
Yep,
Yeah,
and he's been here ever since.
that's what's up. That's what's up. That's what's up.
Sam
That's
Kelly
good.
has a good point too. She says, yes, the places you go and the things you do tell a lot about your intentions. Dates should be about getting to know each other. Can't do that at a movie or a loud ass bar. Well, you know what? That's true. And that's one thing that I've always said prior
Hmm.
to meeting my husband is like guys just want to ask you to the hookah spot. Like, first of all, I don't
Mm-mm.
smoke. I don't really smoke. I don't smoke at
Mm-mm.
all. And I'll
Hmm.
drink like some wine or champagne, but taking me to a bar and a hookah spot is not a date. I'm gonna tell you no, right? So I think that's part of the communicating when you're first starting to get to know somebody about
That's what I was
some of the
saying,
things
yo.
that they like to
Mm-hmm.
do. And that
See?
again goes to the first point of expectations. Like if you are a dude that like to go to tailgates and you like to go smoking and you
Mm-hmm.
drink a lot and you smoke, you go to the hookah
Mm-hmm.
bar or whatever. If that's the
Mm-hmm.
kind of guy that you are, you got to be with a chick that either doesn't mind you doing that or can do it with you. Because any dude asking me to do anything like that, it
You're
would
like,
be a turn
no.
off for me because then I
That's
know
what I
that
said.
I'm
You gotta be
crazy.
truthful. You gotta be truthful what you really want. in a on a date and in a relationship. You got to be truthful in terms of like, all right, this is what I like to do. You can't like swing on something like 4 or 5 days down the line. Like, no, you got to know, like, especially like we're at this age, it's
Mm-hmm.
like, no, I don't want it. I don't got time for something 4 or 5 days down the line. Look, this is what I want to do, and that's all it goes. Just like I said, it's expectations when you want to date. It's like you're trying to get to know the person. It's like, what stuff do you like to do? What stuff do I like? And it should be some of that stuff should be done before that first date, because now you're just talking. Because when you want to go on a date with a person, you're like, all right, let me see how this
Mm-hmm.
person is, because I'm feeling how that communication is going. So let me go see how you are,
Right.
basically in person and how we do things, what have you. So yeah,
And in the
like
beginning, it's awkward, right? It feels like first 48, where the person just asking you a whole bunch of
you ain't
questions, and
lying.
you feel like you being
Mhm.
interviewed. So it has to be in a way. And one thing that I really loved that my husband did was our conversations didn't feel like interviews. It didn't feel like I was being interrogated when he was asking me certain questions about just certain things in life. And I think
Mhm.
a lot of those conversations that we had in the beginning before we went on our first date
Mhm.
stuck out to me the most because it wasn't what I had been dealing with prior with other dates, where it just felt like
Mhm.
I was being interrogated. Like, so what do you do in your free time? Like,
You're like,
it's
come
so
on.
many things I could do in my
Mhm.
free time. I got a kid. I be mothering on my free time. Like, come
Mhm.
on. What do you
Mhm.
I obviously watch TV. I obviously go to the movies. I obviously do some of these things. These are if
Mhm.
you in my personality, you could see that I kind of would like to do some of these things. So just asking me, so what's your favorite movie? Like that would come out in
Like,
normal
come on.
conversation. But just
Yeah.
to interrogate me and just check off, okay, favorite color purple. Okay,
Mhm.
favorite movie, The Last Dragon. Okay, great. Favorite thing to do on Saturday afternoon.
Mhm.
Go to the amusement park. Okay, first thing to do on Sunday morning, eat brunch. Like it's
Yep.
too much, and sometimes it could feel and that could turn somebody off where they feel like they like where were you in the day in line of question like, and then especially with online dating, you're having the same conversation, or if you multi date, or if you're an active
Mhm.
dater, you're having
Mhm.
this conversation multiple times with multiple
Mhm.
people, and it can get very monotonous.
Mhm.
Right? I've already
It can.
told Bob my favorite color was purple. Now I gotta tell Jeff
Yeah.
my
So.
favorite color is purple. And now here come
Mhm.
Kevin. Kevin, my favorite color
Mhm.
is purple. And then here come John. Hey, I like purple. It's like too much.
Yeah, it's like you basically go in the circle. You're like, all right, I got this, and you be like, and then
It's
like I said,
way too much.
when you met and like I said, when you met your husband, you're like, oh, all right, okay, this is
It
different.
felt
All
very
right.
it felt very different.
Mhm.
That's the exact word. It felt very different because prior to him I had gone out on dates. Um,
Mhm.
but it was none of them I went on a second date with. And it was really
Mhm.
sporadic because I was like so sick. It look me being married is definitely the ninth wonder of the world because I'm not sure how it happened. It had to be God because I was definitely not. I can't wait to get a husband. It was more like fuck these niggas. Y'all get on my nerves. And then here come my husband like not me.
No,
I'm
not
gonna
me.
stay. Right here come
Mhm.
God was like oh so you said what you said okay hold on. Boop he dropped my husband
Yep.
right there.
And God knows.
I was because
God knows.
I wasn't even gonna do online dating. Usually I've dated guys that I've known, whether personally, myself, or maybe a friend of a friend. That's usually how most of
Mhm.
my dates came. But I met my husband the exact way I said I would never meet a man. So that's
Mhm.
how you learn. That's how I've learned to shut up because
Mhm.
obviously I don't know what I'm doing with my life. I met him online and I got married. I was never going to be online dating and I never saw
Mhm.
myself getting married. Never.
Wow. You on God's
And then
time.
the Lord was like, okay, great. So you're gonna meet your husband online because you
Mhm.
keep playing, acting like that's not how you gonna meet your husband. All right,
Mhm.
boom. Watch this.
Mhm. You
I
on
was like,
God's time.
come
Like,
on.
yeah. You just like I said, you just never know. Like, hold up,
So
two
what? Do you,
things you said you wouldn't do, and all of a sudden
that's why
things
I'm
happen for a
saying me
reason.
getting married is a ninth wonder of the world because it was like even my friends was like, what?
You
And
got married? Mhm.
I'm sending out save the dates to people. They was like, wait, hold on. What?
Like, who this
So
person?
it's a whole panorama outside, and you don't found a husband. I said, listen, I'm just as surprised as you are. Now, are you coming to the wedding or
Wow.
not?
Not
Yes.
like, come on now. That's a
It's
beautiful
so
thing.
crazy. That's how I
That's a beautiful.
know. That's how I know that I to learn to shut up about things because you definitely think you're gonna have your life planned out, and it's obviously not gonna happen that way. It almost never
Mhm.
happens that way,
Mhm.
right? And then you also learn to realize that sometimes you may want a thing or even not want a thing, but
Mhm.
that is the exact what you need.
You're right. You're right.
And people find that out about themselves when they're dating. I know a lot of friends who are single, and they say that the more dates that they go on, the more unsuccessful dates that they go on, they learn a little bit more about themselves,
That's the God honest truth. Yep. That's the
because
God
you're
honest
gonna
truth.
run into somebody that will either trigger you, and you're like, no, I don't want to be with somebody like that. You're gonna be with somebody that annoys you, like, I can't deal with that all day. No, for the rest of my life, ain't gonna happen, right?
Mhm.
Which is why people don't see marriage in their future for all those
Mhm.
reasons, right? Which is
Mhm.
why which is why sometimes, back to the question with the location and type of date matters, because just like what Sam said, it kind of gives you an insight into this person and how you and this person are going to
Yep.
continue if you are in each other's life, whether it leads to marriage or not. Some people, marriage is not for everybody.
Mm-mm.
People like to just be in long-term relationships, which is fine.
Mhm.
But if you're going to be with this person on a consistent basis, you got to deal with them. You got to like them,
And you
right?
got.
And
Yep.
these
Yes. Hold
type
up.
of
That hold up.
dates, and you
That's
have to
important.
date
What you
them.
just said. That's what you. Hold on. I mean to cut you off. You. That's important. What you
No,
just said. You gotta like them. Like you can love a person, but you gotta like them too.
mm-hmm.
You gotta be like, all right. You gotta be willing to have fun with that person too. I think it's a lot of people that you can't have fun with your mate, and I think that is very, 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 very important. Like you
To
should be able
have
to have
fun with
fun.
your mate. Yes,
You gotta
it
have fun
should
with your
not
mate.
feel like work all the
Nope.
time. Not all,
Mm-mm.
because it's going to be work. Because if you
Mm-hmm.
decide to stay with one person for the rest of your life, you have
Oh,
made
it's gonna be work.
a determination that
Mm-hmm.
whatever life brings you, you're going to be dealing with it with this person. So it
Mm-hmm.
matters, right? It does
Mm-hmm.
matter.
Mm-hmm.
However,
Mm-hmm.
when you are making that decision to spend the rest of your life with this person, you
Mm-hmm.
have to know that in between ups and downs and life
Yep.
coming at the two of y'all,
Yep.
you have to still enjoy each other, which is why now I get married couples that would say to me, still date each other. My mother said it to me all the time. Me and your father used
It's
to
God,
still
that's
go out
true.
on dates. It's important,
Mm-hmm.
date your husband. And
Mm-hmm.
now that I'm married, I get it, because you can get into the monotony of go to work, come home, eat, good night, babe,
Mm-hmm.
love you, go to sleep, wake up, go to work,
Mm-hmm.
come home. And that routine can, especially with like my cousin who's been with his wife for more than almost 20 years. After 20 years,
Mm-hmm.
you're like, we done did everything. We done been everywhere. We done said everything. What else is there to do? You have to get creative and still date and like
Yep.
each other, because
Every day. Yep.
if you don't like them,
Oh, it's gonna come out. It's gonna
it's
come out.
gonna be tough.
Mm-hmm.
And
Mm-hmm.
COVID put a strain on
On COVID,
a lot
yo.
of relationships, because you realize that you don't like this person that much, because y'all spent time apart,
Mm-hmm.
that now when you have to spend 24/7 with this one person in this one house, neither one of y'all
Mm-hmm.
could leave, neither one of y'all
Mm-hmm.
really was doing much, and you had to just
Mm-hmm.
stare at each other for almost
There's no
two
outlet.
years.
Mm-hmm.
You was like, a lot of people was like, I don't really like you. Like, I enjoyed outside being open because it gave me a break from you, but now that I have to be with you all day every day, I don't really
Mm-hmm.
like you. Right? Which
That's the truth.
sucks. people
Mm-hmm.
people have gotten people have gotten divorced within COVID, just because they're just realizing that they've with a person that they don't actually like.
But you know
You
what's
know
on
what
the
I'm
flip
saying?
side of
So,
it though? You know what's on the flip side of it? But you had like also some people that kind of strengthen their bond because it's like, you know what? I really like you.
hmm
It kind of was like stuff that actually like helped a relationship more because now you're around that person, and now it's like certain stuff that y'all quote unquote took for
absolutely,
granted. Now y'all
absolutely.
being around one another, and you're like, oh, all right, yeah, that's what do it. And all of a sudden, that relationship, or helped it and it increased. Like it just basically helped it tremendously. And so COVID was,
Right.
like I said, it was a helper and it was a relationship
Yeah.
too. So
Right. Because my marriage, the majority of it was during COVID. We met October 2019. COVID came
all right.
March 2020. So we had only really been
Mm,
dating about 6, 7 months, whatever, and then the world got shut down. So
mm-hmm.
there was some time apart, but then he was just like, listen, I'm coming this weekend and I'm staying. I'm like, okay. And he actually did stay, and now we're married. But um they gave us a chance to get to know each other without the bells and whistles, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Without having to without having to impress each other by going out, without having
Yeah.
to
Mm-hmm.
to kind of to one up each other on this is okay, this is the day we're going to. Now we got to go on a trip. Now we got to go to the movies. Now we got to do this. It was more so of us being in the house and getting to know each other. And that really helped us a lot. Now it's actually in the reverse. Now the outside is
Mm-hmm.
open. Now we're just like, okay, well, what are we doing? Are we going to, a comedy show? For my birthday, he surprised
Mm-hmm.
me with the concert. So we went to a
Oh wow.
concert.
Mm-hmm.
Legends of the Street, because I'm a whole nigga, like Fabulous, Lil Kim,
New
Gucci,
York,
Jeezy.
New
I
York.
was just like, I was like this,
You like,
and that
uh-oh.
was
Mm.
that was our first. And I said to him, I said, babe, this is our first concert together. Like a lot of the times,
But see,
you know,
keep that. Hold up. I'm gonna say this. Keep that right there. You just said like it's a lot of firsts, and that's a great thing to have. Like keep those firsts keep coming. Like that's what you kind of want in a relationship. You want like a lot of firsts, like a lot of firsts. Like look, we went to this. We went to this. It's like always keep it first. Always keep it like that. That's a beautiful thing. Like man,
yeah, and we're
that's what's
and
up.
we're
That's
doing
what's up.
we're doing these things for the first time now after being together almost 2 years. Because when we first met,
Mm-hmm.
the world was shut down.
Yeah.
So
Mm-hmm.
it's in reverse, right?
That is
So I,
weird.
I
Yeah, that is
but
weird. Yeah,
but we're
but
we're
it's a great
also
thing though.
older too. Like we're also
Mm-hmm.
over 40. So
Mm-hmm.
that leads me to the next question about, does the age group determine the difference in dating? Do 40-year-olds date differently than 20-year-olds, or do 30-year-olds date differently than 50s? What do you think in
I think
regards to the different age
I
groups?
think it does because I remember dating in my 20s to now I am in my 40s. In 20s, I think I can like I will put
That's
up with a
very
lot.
true, Sam.
Hold up, Penny, I realize you don't. Hold up, can you put that up one more time?
Yeah, people realize that they don't like themselves, let alone the people they're dating.
Oh, yo, she right though.
Woo!
Hold up,
That's heavy
because you
right
know what?
there.
That's heavy though, because you like it's
That's
a lot of
heavy.
because you have to do like a self assessment. Sort of like
You
what we
really
talked about
do.
last Wednesday, like on Wednesday
Yeah.
show, like a self assessment of yourself.
Hmm.
But
But as
like
far as the age
for
groups,
like
what do you think in regards to the age groups and
oh, that's
dating?
what
What?
that's what I was saying. Like in my 20s, I was able to put like I would put up with a lot. Like I'd be like, all right, this is going to look. I can put up with this person. All right, this is going to get better. Age
Hmm.
40, like I ain't put up with this. No, nope,
You got
nope.
one
That
more
ain't
time.
like look. But up, and that's how it is. Because you have like a short. Because you like for real though. You have like a short like not a attention span, but you just got a short like look. I don't need to put up with this because I know it's another person out there that's not gonna put me through this, or you be like it's something like I'm good. And you're like and also your like your whole like your mind is a little bit different now because in your 20s you're just free, you just want to do whatever, whatever the case may be. In your 40s you're like, hey, look, I want to go, I want to get into this long term dating type situation or in a marriage, and you want to basically be, you're at a different point in your life now.
Right.
You're more closer to. It's crazy. Like I'll put it to like as a job too. You're closer to age, your retirement age, than the drinking age.
Right. You don't have time to waste when you
Nope.
get older.
Mm-mm. We don't. And it's like, all right, we want to get settled down. We want to go on trips. We want to just do a whole lot more. And in your 20s, you're just free, reckless, or whatever. You don't care. You don't care. In 40s, you're like, no, I want to chill. Like your
Right.
mind is completely different. Your mind is completely different. But I like it. I mean, if I would not, I wouldn't change anything I did in my 20s. Would not change anything. I know people say it would change. I wouldn't say no because you learn so much from the stuff that you used to do back in the day. Because nowadays, 40 is like, all right, I know what to look out for. I know what to, go through what have you. Because, um, but I think it's different. I think it is a lot different. And also, like the people, like let's say if you're in your like in our age group in the 40s, it's like, are you dating 30-year-olds or even because you got some people that's in our some people in the age group, male or female, they want to date like in their 20s, like 20-year-olds because of like it's a thing. And that's look,
Yes, that
I'm
is a
not
thing.
I'm not knocking it. That's what y'all want to do, and it's just different because you got to know what comes with the situation. You got to know what because, but also you know what that might work though. You might got some people that like that can click with like a 20-year-old, whatever stuff will have you, right? I
Unless
know
you
it's a
unless you are Kelly and like to
yeah, that's true.
date 20 years
Yeah,
younger.
yeah, 20 years younger. Yeah, that's just wild. That's just 20
Yeah.
or 30 years younger. Um, but
Look,
you got
ain't
to
that some
find
shit?
yeah, pretty much. you gotta find. I think you gotta find something that's gotta like that's gonna work, and also be hold up. Also be realistic with yourself
Hmm.
in terms of like you can't be like, all right, if you know it's a 20-year-old, and if that 20-year-old is acting like a 20-year-old, you got to know it's like an amusement park ride. You got to know when to get off.
That part.
That's what I'm gonna say.
The ride stops, you get off. I mean,
Yeah.
I think for me, what I've noticed, just in the 20s, those toxic relationships seem entertaining to you. You like you got all the time for
Hold
it.
up.
You
Yes.
blocking,
Yes.
you're
Yes.
blocking, you're scratching cars
Hmm.
with keys. You pulling up to the
I done,
job.
I've
You
had
gonna
nights on
pull
my
up.
neck.
The next
I,
chick that he date, whatever you dating my leftovers. Like all that shit is cute when you're in your
woo.
20s. When you're in your
Mhm.
30s, you like, listen, I'm drained out. I want somebody serious. I may want somebody,
Mhm.
that I actually like, that I can stick around with. But then when you hit your 40s, you're like, listen,
Mhm.
do you like me? Yeah. Okay, well let's do this. If you don't like me, then go the fuck on. Get out of here.
Mhm.
Because I
Mhm.
ain't got the time. Like I ain't got time to waste. So either you're gonna like me, we're gonna do this, or you're gonna
Mhm.
have to just go over there. Because I do not have the time. At 40, it's just like, listen, this is it. They're sticking.
Yep.
They're stuck in their ways. They don't want to really
Mhm.
change. Bad habits are hard to break.
Yep.
So when you're 40 and over, it's just like, I listen. I ain't got the time. I'm not dating you because I need a man. I'm not dating you because I need somebody with money to help me raise myself or support
Mhm.
myself. I'm not dating you
Mhm.
because of anything. If I'm dating you at this age, it's because I actually like
Mhm.
you.
Yep.
Like
Mhm.
I'm not dating you for fun. There's some people in their 40s that they just be
Mhm.
dating, like doing whatever. I'd be like, damn, when you gonna stop? Because you too old to be doing that shit. But anyway,
No, like I said, that's neither here nor there. Neither here nor there.
right? Do you? I am off the market, so I don't give a damn. But nobody do. I'm not dating,
Mhm. Mhm.
so y'all can do
Mhm.
whatever the hell y'all want with
Mhm.
each other. I don't care.
Mhm.
But what I've noticed is that as I've gotten older,
Mhm.
I definitely my tolerance for some of the things, and this is another topic that we'll get to, some of the games that people play in dating at a certain age is
Ooh.
just, I ain't got the time for it. And I noticed that my husband was the same way, and that's where we met. It was pretty much, we like each other, let's just go ahead and keep dating. I don't have time to worry about any other thing. It wasn't no expectations of marriage in the beginning at all, at least not for me. According to him, he said I was gonna be his wife on our first date. I know I'm fly, but I don't know if I'm that fly. But
You
I'm gonna
never
let
hold
him
up.
say that.
Hold up. A buddy of mine. I really gotta get him in this room too. A buddy of mine. He said the same thing how your husband said it to his wife. He's been married. Man, he's been married about 6, 7 years, but he's known her for a long time.
Hmm.
And they basically, they were just friends, like basically see each other, whatever, whatever. And basically, when they really started to get to know one another, he basically told us like, look, let's stop the BS here, right? I like
Yeah,
you,
let's cut this
you like
out.
me. Let's
Right,
let's do this. And he
right.
ended up. It was just a couple months. He was like,
That's
he
it.
proposed to her, and it was like that was it. She thought he was BS, and he was like, no, like why we
Yeah,
gotta be? I'm like, look, we like each other, and it's like you get older, you sort of know like really quote unquote what you want. Like you don't got no time for
yes,
the BS. Your patience
yes,
and your tolerance level are just like no.
yeah. Because you
And if
kind of
you and a
already
person,
been through the trial and error part. You've been through the
mm-hmm,
trial and error. At a certain stage,
mm-hmm,
excuse me, you know what you like, you know what you don't like, and you're just,
mm-hmm,
in hopes that that person comes along. But in your 20s, and
that's true.
maybe you're trying to change a person, you want him to be the way you want him to
Mm-hmm,
be, you're trying to manipulate, trying to do all
mm-hmm,
these other things. But as you
yep,
get older, you're pretty much like, this is what I like, and I'm looking for somebody that already has that
mm-hmm,
instilled. I can't raise a man. K. Michelle said it. I believe her. Can't raise a man. So you have to
nope,
have these things in place already, because I can't teach them to you. Like and especially for me, I know one thing for me as a single mom dating, which is another good topic to have on its
ooh,
own, is single
mm-hmm,
mothers dating. And I have a daughter, right? So for me, the things of that it takes to coddle somebody and teach somebody and mold somebody, I'm doing that with my child. So I did
mm-hmm,
not want to do that with a grown ass man. So because I am already dealing with that, I don't want to do that
mm-hmm,
twice. Whoever I
mm-hmm,
dated, they had to have certain qualities in them. I couldn't teach them that. Like I ain't got to listen. I'm teaching my 10-year-old how to do cognitive thinking, and your ass too, and you 40. I can't do it.
No, it can't
I
be
ain't got
doing
the
that. No,
time.
can't.
I ain't got the time.
Mm-mm. No, not
I
at
do
all.
not. So
And your patient's
so
like, no. Mm.
Hyson has a question for you. Do you see yourself getting married one day?
Yeah. I mean, I got married one time. Basically got divorced. But like, would I get married again? Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yes, I do.
And what she got to be like?
Well, somebody asked me
This
this
is
too
now turned
previously.
into the Taison dating show.
Taison Dating
Taison,
Show.
what do you
Who
like
do
in a
I?
woman?
I would say like someone that like I have fun with. Someone I can build with. I'm thinking about what am I thinking about the puff joint. So I can like chill with someone I can like have a good time with.
Puffy lyrics on here, sir.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Um, but no, I mean like basically like someone that's truthful, someone I can have a good time with, someone I can build with, someone I can just you know that I can have
What is
fun with and also like.
that you? Okay, so what is the top quality that she must have? That she must have. That is no deal breaker kind of stuff. The one thing she must have.
Um, she got to be independent. I'm gonna say that. Like,
Are you sure?
and
Are you
also
sure?
oh yeah, no doubt,
Because
because
men be
you
feeling
can't be
threatened with
Superman
independent
100% of the
women.
time. Oh no, I've
All
dealt with that.
right.
I've dealt with that plenty of times. I've dealt with like independent women, so I'm used to that.
I N
And
D
also somebody,
P P
what?
E.
Hold on, you know what? I'm gonna rephrase this. The number one thing is somebody I can have a good time with. Someone that like we both can have fun regardless of the situation.
Okay.
Because eventually that's what you're gonna have. Like in certain instances in your life, you're gonna have somebody you can have like legit have fun with. Because you don't want nobody
Okay.
no boring person.
No, you don't. Not for the rest of your life.
Mm-mm.
That's
Mm-mm.
very true.
Mm-mm.
So you know what?
Mm-mm.
Now that we've discussed that, we'll
That
segue
was a
into
good question, Stacks.
what I just about you getting married.
Mm-hmm.
We'll have a taste on dating show after the Merv. After 2 years, when Merv is ready to date somebody or
Oh
whatever,
yeah, how
we'll
about
have a
that?
taste on. We'll have the taste on after dark show.
Exactly. Why not? Put that as a
So
hashtag.
taste on after dark.
Right? How about that?
So why do people play games when dating? So this is my question because
Ooh.
I've run into this a lot when talking with my friends that date. And what I mean
Mm-hmm.
by play games is like ghosting and then popping up a week later like, hey, what's up, like nothing ever happened. Or like a guy says, come over, I want to see you, and she's like, are you just bored or do you really want to see me? Like, you want me to come over because you miss me, or you want me to come over just to fuck? Like, or certain things like
You do got a role
you,
reversal with that when it comes to women too.
that is true, but
Mm-hmm.
but but why do people think that these stupid dating games is beneficial? Like waiting
Oh, hold on. No, no,
waiting till
no.
the
I don't.
next
Hold on.
day
I
to
don't.
reply, things like that.
That's the key word. It's not beneficial. Is they don't care. It's not benefit. I don't think they consider it like quote unquote as beneficial. I think they consider this as just like whatever. Like, and see, it goes back
Hmm.
to the dating thing. It's like you got people who just don't care. Like, I don't care about being a beneficial. Like, hold it. It can be beneficial to them. Let me
Hmm.
get that straight. It could be selfish on their part, but like, look, me doing this is beneficial to me, not beneficial to you. I don't care about your feelings. It's like
Right.
you got selfish people out here in the world. You got people who care about like their feelings and no one else's feelings. And somewhat in dating, you kind of might have to have that because, like I said, it's always about expectations. Because like, imagine if I'm feeling a certain someone, like a person will have you,
Hmm.
right? But they're not feeling me.
Right.
And I can't sit there and force that person to like me. I can't. So it's like,
Sure can.
but then on the vice versa, it's like when it comes to somebody's feeling, like, a woman's feeling me, but I'm like, I'm not
You're not
feeling it.
feeling
I'm
her
like,
back.
I have to look, and you don't want to. And the thing is, I think you have to be open and honest about communicating in terms of if you don't like this person, you're like, all right, you know what, this ain't gonna work. This ain't
Hmm.
gonna work. But you got some people that don't even care. They're like, no, they rather be like. I think it's selfish in terms of like, all right, you know what, I'm gonna just leave that person alone, or they're gonna come back when they feel like it and be like, hey, what's up? And you be like, you thought forget about what just happened previously.
Right. Sam Kelly says people playing games aren't trying to date; they're just trying to fuck. Instead of being honest about that, they lie and play the role until they get what they want and
So they keep
bounce.
going and bounce.
That's very true. And you know what? That was a lot of what I was talking about. Like
Mm.
people, not responding to texts right away or doing like I know that a lot of women do this where they would do something to see if the guy really likes them or not.
Mm-hmm.
Um, women, men will just kind of play around with Shorty and be like, so what you doing? Where you at? We'll come through
Yeah,
and
yeah. Mm-hmm.
not really show any real direct attention. But when she's out with somebody else, he's like, who that or whatever. Just ask. But
Mm-hmm.
you ain't really like me. So if you like me, then say you like me and we could get this party started. But if you don't, then I'm gonna date. I'm gonna continue to date and when you see me post a picture with somebody I'm on a date with, get mad
Mm-hmm.
and keep scrolling. Like those are the kind of games that I'm talking about that people play. Um, saying certain things to see what the person's response is, just to play with them. It's just like I feel like that stuff is so dumb. Like, ladies, stop doing
I
that.
think it's ego. I think it's sometimes I think it has something to do with ego a little bit because it's like, hmm, who wants to be the first to catch him?
Let's catch feelings.
Ooh.
That stuff didn't bother me, and I think why
Ooh.
do people why do maybe it's on Taison, you can give the male perspective to this. Why do people
Mm-hmm.
feel like if you're the first one to show that you have feelings or the first one to say I love you or things like
Mm-hmm.
why does that matter so much?
Yeah, I don't understand. See, I don't understand that either because it shouldn't be like, oh, why didn't you say it first? Or like, I hate that because it's like you don't have a mouth. You don't want to like say it's like, all right, hold up. Here's the thing. Was that right? When we talk about like in terms of they love a person, what have you, right? People gonna remember like, oh yeah, I remember me. Like, do you remember the first time you said you like me? Like, you don't remember that.
Right,
You
right.
remember me the first time saying love you, what have you, right? So did it matter if you said it first to me or did I say it to you first? Imagine if I said I like you and I really, really like her, like, and you be like, cool, all right, and really, because you know if a person really, really likes you, you be like, all right, this person really likes me. So then when it comes to the
Hmm.
love part, imagine if the flip side and the woman is like, well, look, I've been waiting to say, I'm like, well, it. See, I
But
don't.
why didn't you? Why didn't you? Like, if you was feeling that way a while ago, then why
Why
didn't
didn't
you
you
say
say
it? Like,
something?
I didn't want to
Yeah,
be
why
the
didn't you
first
say
one.
it?
But you know what I think it is though? I think it's because it's a dig if somebody says, I love you and that person doesn't love you back and they don't say it back, you feel like, oh damn.
Yeah,
Right? So I
yeah,
think
you
that's
feel
that's what Sam is really referring to. Like no one wants to be the first to
feelings
say
don't
they
get hurt.
caught feelings because it may not be reciprocal. So the person may be like, you like me
See,
more
I
than I
think it's
like
a fear.
you,
Yeah,
and that may lead
it's a
to a
fear.
conversation that they neither one wants to have.
A very, very awkward conversation. You like somebody say love you, you just sitting there like you like, oh, no
Ew.
response? Oh. And see that's
Right.
a
And it's
big
like,
conversation because you just sitting there like, oh. And you know that if you ain't getting that right back, it's like, all right, this is a very this is a conversation we gotta go, especially as like I said, as we get older, we be like, all right, why didn't you say that back like right then and there? Like, cause you'll know like that reciprocal. But if you don't get that
I
reciprocal
was
back, you're like,
scared. I was scared. Taking on my
no,
nerves.
we
Man
not
up,
scared. We not
shit.
scared. Man, no, we ain't scared. Come on. Come on,
Right.
we ain't
Sam
scared. Like
Kelly
we
says it's
grown.
it's
One thing afraid
more
to be the one up.
than there being only one to fall. It's terrifying to invest in someone just to have them
This
break it
thing.
off. Very
Whoo!
true. That is
Man,
a,
she
that
is
is
right
a,
about
that is
that. She's right.
that is
100% true.
heartbreaking.
It
Right,
is.
to be like, I love you, and the person goes, I don't love you back, and I also don't want to date you anymore. Bye. It's like,
And you hold it,
oh,
and that hurt piece because you
that
always
hurts.
remember that. You like, ooh, especially you invested all that time and energy into that person, and all of a sudden
Yep.
that person don't get a reciprocal. That reciprocal hurt. If you don't get that reciprocal, that hurt because
And
you'll
that's
remember that.
important.
And hold up, and it goes back to like let's say if you don't get a reciprocal, let's say you take some time off, from dating, and all of a sudden you go back in the dating pool. You're always gonna remember that because you might take that hurt off onto another person. And it's like people don't understand it. Like you take certain things of hurt onto another relationship or relationships down the line. You gotta like we gotta stop breaking those type of like we gotta stop having those type of things being brought up in different relationships because that person might not deserve that hurt that you got. Like
People do
and it's
that
just
all the
that's a hurt
time,
piece.
though. whether they
They
do
do.
it intentionally or not, we all
Oh, they
have
don't. Yeah,
carried
I agree.
something from our previous relationships into the next one.
Hmm.
Not necessarily as a full baggage, right?
Oh no,
But
no.
there may be something that's lingering that you still haven't completely dealt with.
Hmm.
But while you're dealing with it, you still choose to date someone else,
Yeah.
and
Hmm.
that still lingers. So it may come up, however way it comes up, you still haven't completely closed that chapter, which is why people feel like they need closure before
Hmm.
they date someone else, because they want to make sure that they have completely erased that last person from their being, so that way they don't end
Hmm.
up bringing something to the next person that they date.
Yeah.
And I don't
Hmm.
think that that's a good thing that needs to be mentioned. Like, we really should be making sure that if we are dealing with a heartbreak or dealing with something with our past relationship, and we have made the decision to continue to date, because people don't want
Hmm.
to be alone. People act like they don't need nobody, but we all need each
Hmm.
other, right? We all need each
We do.
other.
Hmm.
People we can't exist without each other. Men need women and women need men. So let's
That's
cut
true.
that out and act like we
Hmm.
bad bitches that don't need no nigga. Okay, fine,
No,
great. If
no.
you don't
I
need no
think
nigga,
you.
you'll be sure to not have no nigga, because every dude that comes your way will leave you right where you stand, because he feels the energy from you and will leave your ass alone. But
I think you just gotta. But I think to me also like you gotta always like it goes back to what we talked about on Wednesday. I think you do like a self like assessment of yourself. Is like you can't really be with nobody unless you take care of like really like yourself. Like
hmm
and once you figure out what's quote unquote like the person that you truly are, then you go into like the dating pool and be like, all right, cool, this is what it is. Or sometimes you're not ready for dating. So,
right.
and like you force yourself to date and you're like, look, I'm not ready for that. I'm not ready for that. And you're doing it, you're
Which
giving like a no, go ahead, go ahead.
I was gonna say, which is what I had mentioned before. Like, as more people date, they start to realize more about themselves as well, and they're just
Hmm.
like, yeah, I ain't gonna be able to deal with that. I ain't
Yeah,
gonna be
that's
able to
true
do
though.
it.
Hmm.
I am not
That's
gonna be
true.
able to do it.
At
So
all.
when you're dating, like when you're going out, and let's say you decided to date this person and you wanted to do something nice, do does the cost of the date, the finances that go into that dating, it's 2021, about to be 2022. Does that still matter to people when they're dating? Like, oh, he took me on a cheap ass date, or we went to Red Lobsters instead of PF Chang's, or we went to this place, or we went to do a picnic in the park, and I was trying to go to the hookah spot. Like, does that
Hold up.
matter?
Here's the crazy part. Didn't you agree to go to that date? Didn't you agree to go on that particular date? So whose fault? Is it really the person's fault or is it your fault for actually agreeing to go on a date? Because you're saying, well, I would have thought you could have just said no. Hold it, you
Mm,
got a mouth. Use it. Use the mouth. If you don't want to go on that date, if you don't want to go on a date, but like, all right, whatever. Because like, if you're basically if I'm like planning a date, I'm like, all right, let me go see this person, like whatever the case may be, what have you. And I'm like, all right, well, look, let's go on this particular date. You want that open line of communication? Like, look, I'm not feeling that. We should do something else. All right, cool. Don't sit there and just go just to be going because it's like you're saying, well, I kind of thought we was gonna do this. I'm like, well, I said it in this actual on our phone conversation, or whatever, that that's going to be our date.
mm-hmm.
Why are you getting upset in terms of where it's going to be at? You could have just said, no, I'm not feeling this. I don't like. There's no. See, I think with that type of situation is you got to have some type of open line of communication. You got to like let your
Yeah.
feelings be known in terms of a date. Like you can't sit there and blame another person. Like, oh, I thought. I'm like, well, how are you going to think? And you're basically going on that. How? Mm-mm.
Sam Kelly said the cost of the date shouldn't matter unless you're a sugar baby. But I
No,
feel like
I don't.
there's a lot of
No, go ahead,
women
Becca.
do that. I feel like a lot of women do that. They want men to take them on lavish dates. Um, and when he doesn't, some women, let me not say some women, because I actually
Mm-hmm.
do know a lot of
Mm-hmm.
women that would be like, nah, like we could just watch a movie. Like, I'm cool with that. Some women
Mm-hmm.
don't want to be taken, they don't want to be flued out. They don't want to be flued out to some island. Every so often, yes, but there are some women that
Hmm.
would rather a nice, simple, thoughtful date versus a
Yeah,
dude that's just spending their money and not really thinking
but
into what he's doing.
I agree because I think you'll remember the thoughtful dates more than any other expensive date because you'll always remember the thought
Hmm.
the thought process between. Because I always say the little thing matters in every relationship. Because I mean, look, some women always remember the big purchases, but it's like little stuff throughout, like you giving cards to your girlfriend, significant other throughout the relationship, or just like surprising them with roses. You're gonna remember little stuff like that. It can be something like a rose and
Hmm.
just surprise me. You're gonna remember those type of things like throughout. So it's like the cost is like that wasn't a big cost. Me giving you a card or me doing this or what have you. It's the thought process behind the date. I think to me, it is. You got some people the cost. You like really how much? Like all right. So let's do the flip side. So let's say the person did spend like an extravagant whatever, right? The date or what have you, right? So let's say the guy is expecting the same thing from you in one of those other dates.
Right, ladies, are we giving 28 acres of land to our dudes? We Rebecca's not. I'm so sorry. I do love my husband very much, and if I had it, I would give him
Hmm.
every acre on this planet. However, I don't have 28 acres worth of money
Yeah.
to do that. Now I will tell my husband get dressed and we going on a trip. I would do that. I've done that before. Like we gonna take a little
See, I
road
like that.
trip and
See
that's
that
that.
you I
But
always
I ain't
say
gonna
that
buy
type
you
of.
28 acres of land. I'm sorry, I ain't got
I
it.
always think about like the thoughtfulness of like the gift, the surprise, and like stuff like that because you'll always remember stuff like that.
Right.
Like
Shonda
you'll
said,
always
hell
remember
no.
stuff like that. No, it's like nah.
Yeah, we're not giving
But
28, and it's cool for Ari. Ari, good kudos to you. That is wealth building. I am not mad at her at that at all.
yeah, I saw that. Yeah.
However, we ain't giving 28 acres of land over here.
You're like nah, he,
Around these
nah,
parts,
he.
you're gonna get a trip. That's all you're gonna get out
Hold
of
up,
here.
just like your shirt says, nah.
Yeah. She said, I'm gonna give and cater to my man the way I want to receive. And that may be true,
Mm,
right? You give and take. But there's some
mm,
people that like my husband is a homebody. Like he don't really go out
mm,
that much. He don't really I'm the one that I'll go out to lunch with brunch with my homegirls or but
mm,
if you leave it up to him, he'll chill in the house all the time. So
mm.
although he may appreciate the trip and things like that, I may like to be flued out, right? I want to be like, hey, babe, let's go to Jamaica for the weekend, right? And he'd be like,
Mm.
oh, I kind of want to stay home. So if I just do something for him, the thing is, that may work, but that also may not work because don't date me like you're dating yourself, right? Date me like you're dating me.
Ooh, that's a bar right there.
So don't give me the
Mm.
shit you like. Give me what I like
Shit, like, yeah, exactly,
because
exactly.
you have to know, right? People talk about
You
love
have to know your
languages, and
mate.
I think, yeah, you have to
You have
know
to know
your
your
mate.
mate,
Like people talk about, like what she put, you have to cater to his love language,
and vice
and I,
versa.
right, and that's
Mm.
that's I hear that cliche all the time, love language, but it ultimately means how does that person view love? You know,
Mm.
for me, because I've been a single mom for so long, when my husband
Mm.
came along, he realized love to me is giving me a break, right? So because I
Your
was
partner.
doing every single thing, I was making every decision for
Mm.
me and my daughter. I was doing everything from top to bottom. When he came
Mm.
along, he noticed that sometimes I don't have to worry about dinner. He got it. My husband cooks most of the time. He's the cooker, I'm the
Mm.
eater. So, there'd be times where he would be like, he calls my daughter Little Missy. He'd be like, what's Little Missy gonna eat? Oh, what's this? And for me, that's the way that love looks like to me because it
Mm.
gives me a break from something I've been doing all by myself for so long, right? But if I was to do that to him and he would be like,
Mm.
I
It don't
no,
work.
it won't
Mm.
it may not work. It may work
Mm.
some of the time, but that may not be love to him. Love to him is just peace. Don't bother me, right?
Mm.
Peace is
Mm.
like I don't want to be bombarded with all kinds of shit. Love
Mm.
to him is peace. Like
Mm.
peaceful living is what he always says. Peaceful living. Like
Yep.
I don't
Mm.
want to be stressed. I don't want to be
Mm.
stressed out by your
Mm.
requests, by your all of this. Like just I
Mm.
need peace. So
Yeah.
that that could be for somebody else. Like somebody they have the different types of love languages, gift giving, acts of
Mhm.
service,
Mhm.
time, all of those things.
Yeah.
But, you know, um, when you're dealing with the financial part of dating, right? I've
Mhm.
heard a saying that if you're broke, that you shouldn't be dating, right? Like somebody that don't got no money like that should not be expecting to be going out on dates because you broke. So who wants to date somebody that's broke? That's for men and women because I'm noticing men don't want to date no broke chick neither, right?
Oh, that's what I was saying. Like, the expectation is like, since it's saying I don't want to buy no broke dude. It's like, well, if you broke, why am I expecting? Like, if I'm up there, it's like, why am I expecting to be dating you? Right? Why am I expecting to be dating you? It's like you got, like I say, but you got some chicks, not all, about what 2% of the population throughout the whole world, maybe 1%.
You got to say
Um,
some because people would be like,
some,
not
some.
me,
Hold
not
up,
me.
hold up. Do not be like, this thing is like, look, play this whole video, audio, play this all. 1% of the female population. Like you got some, some that expect is like, imagine if a person is they're quote unquote broke or have you like, I don't need no broke dude. So if a guy said that the girl, like, wait, why don't he give that girl a chance? I'm like you just said you don't deal with no broke dudes, right? So if a dude
Right.
says that to you, you get upset. Why are you getting upset? You're doing the same type of thing to him, but if he does it back on you, like, oh, you feel hurt. What you feeling hurt
Yeah.
for?
Yeah.
Like
And that's usually
you
how it is a lot. A lot of
mm
times you have people who,
mm
again, the expectations, the playing games, like we've discussed
yeah
before,
mm
the different type of requirements, the age group, all of those things matter when it comes to the cost. I think a lot of the times when you're dealing with the cost of dating, right? There is an expense. Dating is an expense, right? So
mm
if you do want to go out to eat, if you want to go to the movies, if you want to go to concerts, if you want to do certain things, yes,
mm
it is going to cost money. And if you are broke, you're not going to always have those funds to do that. But I think the missing part is people can get creative.
mm
Like I can't even tell you the last time I went to like the park and sat down with a blanket on the grass and ate out of a picnic basket. Like, when
mm
have I been? One, because I don't like grass.
See, hold up.
So
It goes, but hold up. Remember what it goes back to, right? Know your mate. It's something you might not.
yeah, that might be something that what he's about to say was that you might not be able to do that, right? When you know your mate, you're able to make those decisions and date like um whatever it is that they like. So if you're a person that likes to date and you do like to go on trips and you do like to be flued out and you want those expensive type of situations, then yeah, you're going to be in a situation where you're going to have to be able to provide that. And providing that is going to cost money. But there are certain things that you're able to do that you don't have to spend a lot of money for. Like if you want those picnic trips, you can definitely go to Subway and get a $5 foot long, right? And then you can actually just go and get an old blanket and go sit out in the park and do all those kind of things. There's also, there's concerts in the park where you don't really have to pay a lot of money. Sometimes those tickets are 10, 15, $20. I know here in Charlotte, the PNC Pavilion has a section that is outdoors. So those outdoor tickets are usually like $20. So if you bring your food with you and you're able to enjoy a concert, you've only spent $20 and it won't be that much money where you're able to date the person that you like. And just like Sean the Price said, you have to be creative. And you know what the thing about it is that you have to be creative regardless, because even though I'm still a newlywed, I've noticed that it's so easy to become the old couple, right? Both me and my husband work during the day. We both work long hours. We get tired. So at the end of the day, it's just like, let's eat dinner. We're gonna try and watch a movie. One of us will fall asleep, and then that's it. That's the end of the night. We'll converse a little bit about how you're doing, how was work, if there's anything we need to discuss in regards to the house or bills or just life in general, we'll do that. but one of us is going to start snoring and it's going to be over. It's going to be over because at that point it's like, what else do you, what else do you do? So you do have to be creative. And I think that creativity, what you mentioned, Shonda, is what keeps people continually dating. You got to keep it fresh. That's usually a lot of times what they say. And that people have told me um that I'm a newlywed. When people find out that you're married and that you're a newlywed, like I've only been married about a little over 6 months. People always say, "Oh, well, make sure you do this, and make sure you do that," and they want to give you all kinds of advice. But the main advice that I've gotten in regards to marriage is make sure that you still date your husband. And a lot of the times, to me, that sounds like just keep it fresh. Just make sure that you have the right things to say, the right things to enjoy each other, the creative ways that everybody is, you know, making sure that they date the right way. Those are the things that you have to make sure that you keep because welcome back. I
Sorry
was
about that. I got
saying
kicked
that
out. Mm-hmm.
most of the times you have to make sure that you keep it fresh when you're dating and be creative because if once you lose creativity, then it gets boring. And at that point, once it's boring, people don't want to date no more. They just want to be out.
Oh no, nah, nah, nah. Mm-mm. Mm-mm.
Yeah, what do you think about the creativity in regards to not having expensive dates?
Well, I think you can be creative because it keeps the freshness of it, right? It keeps the freshness of a relationship because you also have to be creativity once you're in that relationship as well, right? Because you want to keep things fresh, you want to keep things like moving, as I like to call it. Like you want to keep things like spontaneous. And you don't want to like each other. You don't want to get bored with one another, right? Like, all right. Remember you talked about it before. You talked about in terms of
Hmm.
we didn't did everything, right? We didn't did everything, right? So it's like let's go spice things up a little bit. Let's like I'm gonna be real creative with something. Let's just say something that's like, all right, let's say it's something you've been talking about like for the past like couple months or what have you, right? And all of a sudden I surprise you with something like months later, what have you. You're like, oh man, that person really listened to me. They was real creative. Let's say it was like a trip or something. And he was like, look, just pack a bag, whatever, look, I got you. And let's say it was something like Amsterdam or something. And
Hmm.
I surprised you with a trip going there. You're like, you really listen to that. And that's real creative because it's like something a minor thing you
Yeah.
just saw on TV, kept talking about it, and it's just like that. Like
Hmm.
I think you had to be creative because it's like you get like relationships get boring, get stale doing that if you're not creative. Like a car is creative, right? Like a
Hmm.
simple positive thought in your partner's ear is creative. Um, I just think that I think you have to have that. I think you really do have to have that type of that creativity. And you have to be um, you know, oh, you have to say, man, yes, you do. Yep. That's what I said. You really got to know your partner. That's my opinion. I think you really got to know your partner. If you don't have, like, that's a really good comment right there.
You
Study your mate, know what they're like. Yep.
know
Mm-hmm.
what they like. We are growing and changing every day. Stay in tune with your mate.
That's
That
again,
is
that's true.
very true. Because what
Mm-hmm.
happens is we all change. And I was watching, I don't
Mm-hmm.
normally when I'm watching like other videos of people with marriages or listening to marriages and stuff like that, I usually try
Mm-hmm.
to not take in so much out. You ever heard of this phrase, eat the meat and throw away the bones? So
Yep.
it's like take what works for you, but don't try to emulate everything that you see in this video or hear in this video. And there was one thing that I was watching, and it was like, especially for people who have been married for like 15, 20, 25, 30 years,
Mm-hmm.
um within that time frame, you change, the people change.
Oh yeah, no doubt.
And the wife was saying, allow room for each other to change.
Yep.
Because when you're with someone for that long, the way that the two of you are, your first year of
Mm-hmm.
marriage, is
Mm-hmm.
not the same the 17th year of marriage. It's not
I
the
agree.
same when you've been married
Mm-hmm.
28 years. My parents were
Mm-hmm.
married for almost 40 years before my father passed away. So could
Mm-hmm.
you imagine that whole time with somebody, expecting them to be the same? That's very
Mm-mm.
unfair.
Mm-mm. Mm-mm.
That's very unfair. It's not going to work if you think that you're going to still be with the same exact person that whole time. Both of you are going to change. And
Oh
if
yeah,
you
no
don't
doubt.
do exactly what Sean is saying, you got to stay in tune. Because when things are changing, you have to navigate how you're going to now deal
Mm-hmm.
with that change within the marriage. And everything ain't for everybody. Just
Mm-hmm.
like, so yeah, what worked in your marriage may not
Won't
work
work in everybody
for
else's.
mine.
Yep.
Like, I may not
Yep.
be able to, I hope the day will come, but I may not be able to retire my husband like Tabitha Brown did with her husband, right?
Mm-hmm.
Her
Mm-hmm.
dream that she's been waiting for 20 years for. They were together
Mm-hmm.
for 20 years.
Yeah.
And the whole marriage, she wanted this dream of becoming this actress and doing these things. And it wasn't until pre-COVID, right before COVID, where she started doing her cooking videos on TikTok.
Yep.
And now
Mm-hmm.
she has evolved so much that she was
Mm-hmm.
able to retire her husband. And people talk so much shit about that online. Like,
Mm-mm.
don't why you gonna make why your man gotta quit his job? He should still work. And she was like, hold on, wait a
That's
second.
corny.
We've been together for 20 years. Why my shirt feel
Mm-hmm.
like it's all outside? Okay, now. We've been together for over 20 years. The whole marriage, my husband has done everything possible to make sure that my
Mm-hmm.
dream is fulfilled.
Mm-hmm.
Now that my dream is fulfilled, my gift and my thank you to him is to retire him. Babe, tell your job you're gonna retire. You ain't gotta work for them no more.
Mm-hmm.
We good now. And that's a beautiful thing. That
Mm-hmm.
change happened 20 years later. So could you imagine if you hold that person to something and they still don't have it and they don't get it until the 20th year?
Yeah,
Here
and
you are
I don't.
thinking, saying that you're gonna still be with the same person. It's just not gonna happen.
No, I agree with that, but also I agree like every year, like not even 7 years. I think every year you're gonna change. You're doing something different, like with
Hmm.
yourself. Like each person gonna be something. It's different for everybody. It could be like a year or 2 years, but like it's gonna be something different from what the person that you met to how they are now. And that's
Very much so.
that's a beautiful thing to like really. That's what I said. Like it's not like you should. Nobody should want like I want the perfect person. No, you should want a person that you're willing to learn from, to grow with, right?
Yeah.
Because that's a
Yep.
beautiful, beautiful, beautiful thing to do. Because it's like you're learning things together. You're
Yep.
teaching each other things, like what have you. So
Absolutely.
like, and I think that's what you need. I think that's what you know. This whole the topic is about is like you need that growing part. It's like you got to know your man. You got to know that that person's going to grow. You don't want that person to just be stagnant for like the whole amount of time in your race. Like everything is like no, you don't want that because you're going to want that person to grow and vice versa. So
yeah, like I said, dead things don't grow. Dead things don't grow. And if you
mm-mm.
think that you're gonna be the same person 20 years from now,
Mm-hmm.
even if you
Yep.
were single, it don't matter. You're still not gonna even want the same things, eat the same things, wear the same
Yep.
things. You're gonna
Yep.
be completely different. So you have to actually leave room for that. Which brings us to the next topic about dating for fun or dating for marriage.
Ooh, talk about that in the beginning.
Some people date just for fun. They're not looking for anything serious. They
Yep.
just like to enjoy going out and having a
Mm-hmm.
good time with people. And sometimes
Mm-hmm.
they don't have to always be the same people. They like variety in their life. So they
Mm-hmm.
like different energies and dating.
Yep.
And then you have other people that are dating for marriage. I'm
Yeah.
dating because I intend to marry somebody. And if you're
Mm-hmm.
not also on that same page, we can't date because I don't want to give you no misconception that I'm going to be your girlfriend forever.
Nope.
I want to be a wife.
All
Or
all
even the
about
man to
communication.
say, I ain't
Mm-hmm.
gonna be your side nigga. I ain't gonna be nigga number 3.
No, and I'm like, no, I'm out. Deuces.
I want to
Mm-mm.
right,
Mm-hmm.
right, because you never
But
know
hold
what
up,
can happen.
hold up. But there are some people that's they cool with that, and you know what? All right, y'all cool with that, but you gotta like, I think that's the thing. You got some people that's dating for fun, and people are cool with that, and you got some people that's like the end game of it is just like, all right, look, I want to do the marriage thing, and it's like whatever, whatever floats your boat. It's just it's weird out there in these streets right now. Because there's a lot more people dating for
It's
fun
hard
now.
out here for a pimp.
Yeah, it is, and you got a lot more people dating for fun that's willing to date for fun for like a lot of years now. I think it's more different from when we grew up. It's just like you said, it's like they're not looking at the long term situation. They're looking for like, all right, this is the short term, or they just want to keep having fun. And I'm not judging. That's what they want to do. That's cool.
Right.
But
I think that goes back to our very first point about expectations.
Mm-hmm.
Right. That brings it all back home to expectations when you're dating somebody. And I think that is one of the first things that you should mention. That
right out the gate.
Because one thing I told my husband was I don't multi-date. Right. I told him that, just not for pressure, but I told him that if you do multi-date, then let me know, because I don't want to think I'm the only one and I'm not. Right. I need there to be open. I need to be open communication, because if I behave like I'm the only one and I'm not, I'm going to want and expect things that you may not be able to provide because you're busy with the next girl, or you're out on a date and I want to talk to you. I'm I had a long day. I want to talk to you, and you at the movies with Stacy. Right. So I let him know that I don't multi-date. I chose not to multi-date. I've never done it because cheating is too much work for me. I don't have that brain bandwidth. I'll forget, and I'd be like, listen, one do at a time, please. I don't have I don't have the brain. I don't have the mentality to cheat. It's too much work for me. I'm too old. I ain't got the time. But I multi-date because I want to make sure that I'm giving this person my attention, and that I'm not distracted by other options, because I feel like sometimes options can make you indecisive. If this is what you're working with at the moment, then you're going to give this a good shot. Right?
Yep.
You're going to give this a good shot, and you're not going to be worried about, well, if this don't work out, I can just go out with John. Right? And to kind of fulfill that void. And that's definitely something that you should make, what Sean said, make clear from the rip.
That's the truth.
I'm dating because I do want to get married. I do seek for marriage. And if that's not what you want, then that's cool. We can enjoy the date and have a good time, but just know that I can't continue on with you because we don't have the same goals.
Yep. And I think that's you're right. And I think that's where that communication and being honest in the part of, like, really being honest about what your intentions are. Intentions are a big thing when it comes to dating. Like, and especially like at our age, like, I want to know what you're like. You got to dictate. So you got to dictate your own terms, or somebody gonna dictate them for you. I'm a big believer in that. And I think with dating, it comes to that same way too. It's like, look, just like you say, you told them right off the rip, like, look, I'm not a multi-dater, so look, you it. I'm like, and if you multi-dating, just let me know. I'm like, all right, then that's it. Like, I can't do this. And it's like, you're basically letting them know for rip. And it's like, some people are being selfish because they don't want to do that. They don't want to sit there and tell the person they're dating what their true intention really truly is, or they don't even really care.
Do you think we missed the mark on that, though? Do you think that we miss those opportunities to be clear and decisive about our intentions just because we're so busy hoping we don't get fucked over?
That's a good question. Yeah, I think it is, because you, like, who said this? Like,
they out here lying. Like, people out here lying. She put that in caps.
Yeah, in all caps. People out here lying. It's the truth, though.
But yeah, what do you think about that? Are we missing the mark when it comes to that? Those chances where we can be honest and put it out there, and it not be a loss because we just met this person, so we ain't really losing nothing there anyway.
I think it is, but people, sometimes they want to string something along because it's like, all right, they're like somehow like semi feeling this person, and they're like, let me see how this person is. Let me keep this to the side. They're being selfish. I think you got a lot of you're playing games and you're selfish out there. You're playing games because you want this to the side. Like, all right, I'm gonna keep this because hold it. This is a fun game I like playing, right? So let me keep playing this fun game. Let me keep playing this fun game until it went back to what I was talking about, like an amusement park ride, right? All right, this ride is nice, but after a while, you got to get off that ride. The thing is, you're not telling the ride you're getting off that ride. You're just like, all right, I'm out. And you're just walking away from the ride, never to see that ride again.
Right.
And it's like you said, there's a lot of people playing. There's a lot more people playing the not honest dating game, like more nowadays.
The not honest
Honest
dating
dating game.
game. I agree with that. I do agree with that. And I think that is a reason why the biggest understanding is that dating is hard right now.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people feel like the dating is tough. Like the dating pool got some pee in it.
Mm-hmm.
because people who I know that are dating, they find it very difficult to find genuine people to date. Like they'll go on one day and be like, nope, nope. They'll go on another date and be like, nope, nope, nope. Another date, like, And by the next thing you know, a month later, they've been on 10 dates and none of them are prospects because something was wrong with every single one of them.
But you know what? Was it? We go back to before. Was it something wrong with them? Was it something wrong with the person themselves? Like that self-assessment. Like you can be like, all right, and also like you can basically be like, all right, I'm not feeling this person, but then you think about it, you be like, man, you know how you go back and you be like, you know what? The reason I wasn't feeling those people because I wasn't truthful with myself. Like I wasn't really truthful with myself in terms of what I was looking for and who I wanted to deal with. So of course I put myself in a situation like I didn't want to, I'm putting like these situations I know I didn't want to put myself into. And most of the things that until you find out what you want. It can I'm not agreeing. I'm not despairing in that fact at all. Because like, some people like the most of date. That's cool. That's good. I'm not, whatever. But I think somebody put in the chat like different definitions of dating. People have different interpretations of dating. Because you can interpret a date and somebody can interpret it a different way. I'm just going out. Because dating, like it's all about interpreting something or have you. Let's say if you're going out like with the person or have you, right? Somebody can say, "Oh, you went on a date." You're like, no, that wasn't a date. Nope.
I've heard of that, and I'm just like, so there's all these stages: talking to a person, dating somebody, going out.
Well,
you know how
what do we
consider they're going steady?
Yeah.
Like, I never understood all of these terms. What is talking to somebody? What is that? Because me and you were talking right now. Like,
that's what I'm saying. Like,
I'm talking to somebody. What does that mean?
Like, what does that mean? That's what I'm saying. It's like, and is that generational? Like, each generation is different. Like, what did our parents say about those type of different stages? Do they like when you were talking to like grandma? What do you consider that talking to her, or what was that stage like? Because I think it's different stages and the evolution of dating too. Evolution of dating is exactly
what you said about the different age groups, about our parents and what they. Because I guarantee you, our parents was not talking about they talking.
Oh, no.
I guarantee you, my mother was not talking about my father. Like, oh yeah, I'm talking to this dude.
No, I'm marrying that person.
They definitely either said dating or courting. Courting is a new term too. I mean, a new hit for us, but an old school term that people brought back. That's my shorty, not my girl.
Yo.
Oh, that's my little boo thing.
Oh, that's my little boo thing. That's my little shorty right there.
Girl, but I keep her around.
Yeah.
Like,
she alright. That's my little young joint right there. That's my little. As in Philly, we call it like little. That's my little young joint right there. That's my little young joint right there.
Keep it simple. Keep it short. Yep. I can't keep up either because first of all, I'm out the dating game because I was married now. But it's too many terms, and it's just like a lot of it is people not wanting to admit their feelings for that person. Yes, I'm dating him. Will sound more like a finite decision versus we just talking. Like, that ain't my man. Like, whatever.
Hold up, and what's wild when you say it like this? Like, why are you trying to like hide your feelings when you're trying to talk to your friends or your family? When you say stuff like that, like, why are you trying to? If you really like the person, it's like, all right, I like this person, but for other people, like, no, we cool. Knowing that could be something totally different than what it is. It
goes back to what Sam said earlier. No one wants to be the first to catch feelings.
That's what I was gonna say. Yep.
Nobody wants to be the first, and it's just like, why do you feel like you got to be the soldier in this situation? If you catch your feelings,
nobody wants to
say you catch your feelings.
Yeah, no one wants to catch the feelings, and nobody wants to basically explain the feeling. No one wants to explain that to the person or to their family or friends about that particular person, what have you.
But
And
it could also be the admittance of failure too, right? I think a lot of people, and I can relate to that because there was a time where I had so many perpetual unsuccessful relationships where I was just done. That's why I was like, before I met my husband, it was like, fuck these niggas. Because I had met so many, I had so many consecutive bad situations. Then they all didn't end horribly, right? It was like, fuck you, get away from me. It wasn't like that.
It's just one of them things that happens. It's one of them things that
right.
It was
but
over.
it was happening consecutively, to the point where I was just like, I'm just gonna take a break altogether. Like I'm just gonna just have an extended amount of time where I'm not dating anyone, because getting to know somebody and then it going by the wayside,
like
and then getting to know somebody and that one, it's exhausting on the spirit.
Yep.
So some people date for fun for that reason. They don't want to put any pressure on it. They don't want to put anything, any stamp on it. They just dating to have some fun, because all that other stuff is just way too much for me. And if I'm gonna just go out on dates, have some fun, go back home, and not have to worry about if I really like this person, is he gonna like me back? Who's gonna say it first? Who's gonna text first? Who's gonna call first? All of that stuff is just way too many rules and regulations. Too much on the spirit. So I'm just gonna go and have some fun and go back home. Right?
Yeah.
Because it says people want to keep their options open. So if it does not work out with one person, they can backtrack to the one
they keep on. And I understand that. I understand that. All right, I'm cool with that. I told you, look, I understand the multi-dating. I definitely understand it. That's cool. I'm not like knocking it. If you want a multi, that's definitely multi date. Definitely do it. Like definitely.
And I understand that. I understand that too, because people like, don't put all your eggs in one basket for the reason I just mentioned. Because if you're giving all this person your energy and it don't work, you're exhausted. So now it's
I agree
too much.
totally.
But if you had a couple options and this here don't work out, then it don't really bother you too much because you already got some other choices.
Yeah, you already got something on the side right here.
I definitely understand. I know for me, it's too much brain work for me to be figuring out who I'm going with on. And I have a kid, so every time I have to go out, I would find a babysitter. It's just way too much work.
It's different, a little bit different.
It is way too much work. So that's why I was like, you know what I'm gonna do? One do at a time, because I ain't got it for y'all.
Yeah, like let me go. let me go. Let me just tell you right off the rip. There's only one right here. No, if y'all hold up, y'all want to do it, cool. But for me, no, I'm good. I'm good with that.
So what is your final take on the misconceptions of dating? What do you have to say to the people out there about dating?
Man, keep your options open a little bit. I agree with that. But be truthful in the beginning of your intentions. Like, be very truthful in your intentions in terms of when you're talking with people, what your terms in terms of what you expect out of the date and what have you. Don't sit there and string people along. Like, if you like, look, I'm dating this is what I'm dealing with. I'm dating like a couple people inside. Do that. Don't string people along. Because you got some people that's like, that is like, they see something like they think it's one thing, it's not another.
That's TT in the comments saying, "Hey."
All right, so yep, exactly. I think that's the two big things: be honest and communicate. I think that's a very, very big thing. Communication is key.
Yeah.
And also too, look, self-assessment. Before you go out into these dating things here, self-assess what what you're doing here about you, because they may not be like you. Just like you said, the person you kept going on all these days, it may not be those people. Maybe you. And that's all I have to say.
That was heavy. It can't be, everybody can't be wrong, right?
That's true.
I think my final take on dating now is, I know it's tough, but I think we have to let go of the ego when it comes to dating, because a lot of people come in the door wanting and expecting, and they're already out the gate ready to pull from that person. right?
Mm-hmm.
What can you do for me? What are you going
Mm-hmm.
to give me? How are you going
Mm-hmm.
to entertain me? Why
Mm-hmm.
are you being weird to me, right? They're ready. They're just ready to take from that person.
Mm-hmm.
And they don't realize that some of the things that they're willing to take from the person, the person can't take from them, right?
Yeah.
It has to be an even playing field when you're dating someone. And I kind of feel like take some of the pressure off of the first dates and just go have some fun and just meet
Oh
the
yeah.
person and see
Agreed.
what they're about in person without having to go with the checklist of first dates and
Mm-hmm.
that have to be done. Stop
Mm-hmm.
letting social media and pop culture in general determine what your first date
Preach.
should be.
Mm-hmm.
Stop letting people say your first date got to be spectacular, it got to be fireworks, and you got to
Mm-hmm.
get that feeling in your belly and all of that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
That may happen, but if that doesn't happen, that's still okay. That doesn't mean that
Mm-hmm.
that person isn't of substance where you continue to still date them.
Yep.
Give people time to be themselves. Open that door and
Yep.
just let it be free. Like Sam
Agreed.
said, it's supposed to be fun. It's supposed to be,
Yeah.
a time, and it could get aggravating because when you're, giving your time and energy to somebody, and it's not being reciprocated, it could be
Mm-hmm.
annoying and exhausting and frustrating.
Mm-hmm.
But ultimately, whoever you're supposed to be with, you'll end up with anyway, no matter
Mm-hmm.
how hard you fight it.
That's true.
Right?
That's
Think
true.
so?
That's the kind of true. That's the kind of true. I agree with that. I agree with
I
that.
know I only speak from experience because I definitely met my husband all of the ways I said I wouldn't.
And God's timing.
And that's the
God's
only reason
timing.
that's the only reason why I know that we could say what we want. We could have a checklist of the things that he has or don't have to have, or we can
Mm-hmm.
we can present the man with, what do you bring? This is the table.
Yep. That's
This is what
true.
I bring. What do you bring? We could have all of those things set up and ready to go, and none of it will work.
Nope. Mm-mm. And it's all about timing. And sometimes it's all about timing too. Like like I said, at this particular, like I said, when you met your husband, you were just like, I'm not doing the online dating, and you wasn't married. All of a sudden,
Here I am, somebody's whole wife. Crazy. Crazy.
but it's a beautiful thing, though. It's a
It
beautiful
is.
thing.
It
It's a
is.
beautiful thing.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
Mm-hmm.
thank you so much, everyone who has tuned in. I want
Yes.
to shout out everyone in the comments, Shonda, Sean, TT for stepping in and just saying hello. What's
Yeah.
up,
So
T?
what's
Facebook
going
user,
on?
whoever you are, thank you so much for joining in.
Yes.
Sam Kelly,
Mm-hmm.
once again, with
Always.
the comments that were right on
Oh, the
time from the
jewels. The
beginning.
jewels.
We got
Mm-hmm.
to figure out how to get Sam in the
Yes.
box in one of the on the
Yes, we
camera.
do. She
Shout
get
out
them jewels.
to Stacks who also joined in for a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you so much, Sam. We really appreciate your participation these last shows. So we
Yes.
definitely want to shout out to all our sponsors: Blackjack TV, Zingo TV, Channel 198,
Mm-hmm.
Primetime, Sports Wagging Network. We want to thank everyone who has tuned in today. I know you guys
Yes.
were expecting to see Tina and
Oh,
Taison, but I had to
but
fill in
look.
for my girl today. So Tina, if you're
Yes.
watching, I hope I did you well.
Yes. And look, thank you,
You're doing this
Becca.
next time, though.
But thank you. Hold on. I'm gonna say this, from Tina. Look, thank you again for the special co-hosting duties tonight. You did a great job as usual.
Thank you,
Um,
sir.
hopefully, you'll get your own little spotlight show soon. You know what I mean?
Uh,
Um,
I'm
you
cool
know,
being a co-pilot.
mhm. But, I
I'll be the
like I said,
passenger for now.
but like I said, like I said, thank you again for filling in. You did a great job as usual. Thank you for, like I said, she just said, thank you for all our listeners, the viewers. Look, you could be anywhere in the world, but you here rocking with us.
Absolutely.
Like I said, listen on our YouTube page. Look, we go to our YouTube page, like follow it. We're trying to get our followers up.
Yes, please, please. It is the
Please
guys
do.
part on YouTube. Please, you guys. We are
Yep.
definitely trying to get our YouTube presence known so we can take this thing as
To a
far as
whole
we
nother
can
level.
go. So we would
Yep.
appreciate if you guys all follow us on YouTube.
Yep. And
The
see our
guys
Twitter page too.
pod.
Twitter,
Yep,
Instagram, all
we're
that.
on
All that.
Instagram, we're Facebook
Mm-hmm.
Live, we're
Mm-hmm.
on Twitter now. So
Yep.
thank you, everybody who was under the sound of our voice. We appreciate you.
Thank
we
you.
hope that you enjoy the rest of your Sunday night. And good night, everybody.
Thank you.
Peace.
Thank you. Peace.